we have now come to the question and answer session, and I am opening this session to anyone who would like to ask Prof. Shukri, the man himself, any questions which is lingering in your mind, or you could also write in the chat box so that I could read your questions to Prof. Muhammad Shukri Saleh.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Noor.
Waalaikumsalam, yes.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for organizing this program. And thank you, Prof, for sharing your thoughts before this time. Anyway, I have two questions. One is regarding the assumption number 2. When Prof discussed about the unlimited want, as well as scarce resources. Of course, when I saw what Prof actually mentioned in the slide and the discussion, of course, from Islamic point of view, we could agree that that is not possible. But when we look at it also from the reality, because all these actually started from the theory of utility, which is actually focuses on more is better than less. So if we have more, it's always better than having less. And I think that is what is actually driving the assumption regarding the unlimited want, as well as scarcity of resources. So we have a lot of things we would like to have, but we do not have enough financial resources, for example, to have them all. So I think from reality perspective, it seems to be right, but I would like Prof to shed more light on that, especially taking it, from the aspect of utility, which is, of course, having more is better than less. And the second question I would like Prof to also to discuss is the concept of consumerism. So the concept of consumerism also suggests, also in line with what Prof also discussed under the assumption number 3, when Prof was discussing about perception and discussing about the consumption, having consumption as, I could not really remember the way Prof actually mentioned it. But I would like Prof to actually shed more light on consumerism from Islamic point of view, because this has also been creating some kind of issues, especially among Muslim consumers, because this one also suggests that for countries to grow and for everything to move on very well, we have to spend more in the country. And that is the basis why, of course, our government provide everything. We have jobs so that we can spend more. So this particular one also need a bit of discussion from Islamic point of view. So I leave the floor to Prof. Thank you so much, Dr. Noor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Harun. So, Prof, we would like to listen to your thoughts over here, yeah?
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Harun, yeah? Dr. Haruna. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's quite interesting questions. The first one, yeah, definitely we can agree with the concept of more is better than less. But then the difference exists. More for what and less for what? What we are discussing here is the consumption. No problems that you can have more. And in fact, in the Sirah of Rasulullah, we can see that there are companions of Rasulullah who have more. Say, for instance, Sayyidina Abdurrahman bin Auf, Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab, Sayyidina Abu Bakr, Sayyidina Sayyidina Osman bin Affan, and so forth. And they have more. But the problem here is the consumptions. Do we need to consume as much as we have, or we consume according to our needs, even though they have a lot more than that. So there are two problems here. Yeah, there are two problems here. There are two basic concepts here. Number one is the consumption. Number two is the ownerships. When you say that it is better to have more than to have less, it is something to do with the ownerships. It's better, I mean, it's good to have more, to have a lot of ownerships rather than to have less. But definitely you are right in that. But that doesn't mean that for the second concept, the consumptions, you need to consume all that you have. You have to minimize the consumption according to your needs, not according to your not according to what you have. So this is the very brief answer for that. We have to differentiate between the ownerships and also between the consumption. So in fact, this is very interesting also. The concept of consumptions and ownerships is actually the main concepts or originated during the occasions of Adam and Hawa, Adam and Eve, and also Habil and Kabil. I'm sorry, just now I didn't show my last slide. This is on the last slide. My last slide on the conclusions. Yeah. Let's see number 3. Yeah. The first conclusion, I was trying to argue that the 3 philosophies are actually in one paradigm, and it is based on the assumptions, on the perceptions, and also the law of progress. And then I tried to express myself that the conventional development theories are not able to solve the real roots of the problems. Why? They only concentrate on consumptions and in fact encourage the consumption. On one hand, actually, the concept of consumption is actually the original problems of the human beings as faced by Adam and Eve. Yeah, we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked Adam and Hawa to be in the heaven and allow them consume whatever that they want, except the holy. But then with the obsession created by shaitan, and then if consume the holy, and then that becomes the main, the first problems that have been faced by the human beings. That is the consumption problems. And then later on, we can also see the story of Habil and Kabil, which is dealing, which is related very much with the ownerships. We were told by Quran that both of them were asked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to sacrifice their goats, and then one gave the bad goats, the other one is giving the best ownership that he has, and then Allah accepts the one which sacrificed the best goats, yeah, and then the other one is rejected, and then it becomes it started the problems between both of them, and then until one killed the other. So the main problems is the ownerships. So that's why here when we are talking about the Islamic critics of the conventional development theories, so we have to differentiate between the consumptions and the ownerships. No problems having the ownerships, but still, whenever you are asked to sacrifice, give the best one, and then, but then consumptions, you need to choose the consumption to consume, and probably this relate very much to your second questions. No problem if you consume, but remember, the more you consume, the more the hisab will be in the akhirah, inshallah. So, and then therefore, we can see the people with the high iman, also high nafs, they consume according to their needs, and they consume less because they want to avoid from having hisabs in the hereafter. So when you say that we need to spend more in order to develop, and then we need to spend more, meaning that we need to consume more in order to develop, there is really a capitalistic theory, that probably we can reject that, and then inshallah we can come up with a different kind of consumerism theory from Islamic perspective, inshallah. Yeah, as I have said just now, there is consumption ethics in Islam. Yeah, there are a lot of things that we can discuss on that. Number one is the level of consumption, and the daruriyah, yeah, and then also daruriyahs mean the basic needs, and then later on the needs that will ease your life, and then the third one is definitely the consumptions that only fulfill your unlimited wants, and that is prohibited by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then it's very, 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 very dangerous when you want to spend more in order to increase your consumption, because it will lead you to the exploitations of resources more than what you actually need, and therefore it will entail with the environmental problems as what we have faced now. And that actually, when we want to stick to the theory that spend more is better, and then therefore consume more is better, and actually we are actually at a phase of quite a backward stage, because now even in the conventional development theory, they are not talking about that anymore. That's why they are going into this sustainability theory, yeah, and then with these SDGs and all that, just because to overcome the problems of the over exploitations of the resources that was stimulated, sparked by the belief that we need to spend more, we need to consume more in order to develop. Thank you, Dr. Harun, for your questions.